Hey, I have two lists for you today. The first one here is from Colton. Colton is a new player, a convert from Weimar, and he is playing Finns and trying to figure out how to boost his order dice. So let's go and see if we can help him do that, shall we? Finland improves. Love the name. So Colton is playing. Whoa, sorry about that. My computer is just pinging away right now. So Colton is playing Finns. He has 13 order dice at 1250 v3. 13 order dice, I can say this confidently, for most metas is just too low. Which means, Colton, that you'll find in most of your games that you're out order diced. That the enemy simply gets to act while you don't when you want to. So you need to boost that order dice count. There's no easier way to say that. So what do we do to do that? We have a rifle platoon with an inexperienced officer. Nice. We have CC recons. These are really, really good. I think, though, that you need to go even numbers with these. Yeah, you do. There's a math issue here, right? The Finns get an upgrade once half their unit is dead. Then they become a higher veterancy. So if you want, mathematically, if you want that to happen as soon as possible, which you do, you don't want to have odd numbers of troops in your unit. You want to have even numbers of your troops, because then it happens as soon as possible, right? So I would potentially boost these CC recons to 8-man units, but they are really good. You should enjoy that. We have a regular sniper. Yep, that's always good. And a Panzerschreck team. Now, the Panzerschreck is really expensive. I think you maybe don't need it, depending on your local meta. Depending on what people bring to it, you could downgrade to an anti-tank rifle. Anti-tank rifles are pretty dirt cheap, and you can put pins on any tank of the game. That makes sense. An armored platoon. Yep, this is the problem. Armored platoons are not good for Finns. You're going with the Stug 3s, which are expensive for a single shot. I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of these tanks at all. You're spending so many points on these tanks, and then you're running captured howitzer tanks here. I wouldn't. And you're running so many tanks. 4, all of them very expensive tanks. This is the platoon I would cut. I'd simply remove it from your list completely. Also because you're locked in with the unreliable captured Soviet stuff, right? Who wants that? I wouldn't. Yeah, just I don't think it's worth it. And then the third platoon is another rifle platoon, inexperienced officer, CC recons, a rifle squad with LMG, and a Panzerfaust. That combination, I would never use that combination at all. I like the 5-man squad. They are a good backline holder. The LMG in version 3 works really well. Why do you have a Faust on them? They're not going to push up. They're not going to be a threat to enemy armor. And you have so much anti-tank in this list. Cut out the Faust. It's not needed at all here. And another Shrek team. No. You have so much AT in this list, right? You have these two up here. And I know, I said, cut them out. So, what I think you should try and do, and I know, like, running tanks is lovely, right? Running tanks is really, really cool. I can't remember the Finnish list as is right now, but if you have access to any, like, tankettes with autocannons or HMGs, That's the thing to take. Cut out these very expensive vehicles. They're not good for you. Instead, go and get yourself a heavy weapons platoon. And in that heavy weapons platoon, take as many mortars as you can fit in. Because HE is one of the places where Finns have been lacking behind. But now they have access to it. And in that heavy weapons platoon, you can also take anti-tank rifles, so you can spam out 5, 6, 7, 8 anti-tank rifles with the anti-tank rifles you have in your rifle platoons. And any enemy tank that moves into your threat range will get pinned to smithereens, right? And that will stop them. So for me, I think having that indirect fire, so the enemy doesn't sit in his own back lines, he has to move up or has to move away, and then your infantry is on ambush, shooting him as he moves. That is the combination, I think, that would make this work. And it would absolutely boost your dice levels here. This unit here of almost 200 points, for that 200 points, I can get 8. No, not true. I can get 9 light mortars. 9! That's 8 more order dice than you have in this one tank here. 8. That is how you boost your order dice. So, I love the list. I love the Finns. God, I love the Finns. They are so good, and they only got better, I think, in this version. But I don't think you should run armored platoons with Finns. It's not what they're great at. Then we have this list here. This is from Jeff. Is that right? I think it is. Just a sec. To-do list. Yeah, it's from Jeff. I have, by the way, I can show you my to-do list. It's that freaking long. There's like 30 names on it. So Jeff is building US 22 order dice. Now, Colton, look at that. 22 for 1250. He's 2 points above the limit here, so he's going to have to cut something. There is the M13 MG-MC, which has turret-mounted HMGs. I love me some turret-mounted HMGs in this version here. Multiple gun carriages, right? It's a 7+. It's open-topped, which sucks, but, I mean, yeah. And because it's a half-track 7+, it's immune to small arms fire. Yeah, you'll get pinned, but those HMGs, and yes, they're not 6 shots, they're only 3 shots, but still they got +1 to penetrate, making them totally able to pin down enemy tanks. Love it. Then we have an artillery platoon with a commander and a howitzer. I would ideally want there to be more in this, and I think you should take a multi-rocket launcher instead. I think still the land mattress is much better than the howitzer. Can't remember if it's available to Americans right now in the rules book, but if it is, I think that's the way to go. Or at least one howitzer more. And yeah, I'm not sure about the medium howitzers. Look, this is the change. The minimum range now is 36. That's a long way. You're not going to be shooting indirectly most of the time. Maybe I would change those over to light howitzers now. Rifle platoon, that's a platoon commander, regular. He doesn't need to be regular. Cut him down. Cut him down to inexperienced. And then marine squads and infantry squads with riflemen and BARs, a couple of submachine guns here. I would ideally want this submachine gun unit to be a little larger, because that's the unit that's going to push up. Maybe even veteran, but the rest of them, okay. The Marines here, they'll be sitting in their back line, shooting their BARs out. There's, I think, an argument to be had now about whether the BAR or just a single LMG is what you should go with, but Okay. Sniper team regular. That's perfectly fine. Yeah, again, cut the commander down to inexperienced. I know he's still dirt cheap, but again, Marines, again, submachine guns, these need to be bigger. And an infantry squad with nothing. For me, if you have these infantry squads, buy an LMG for them or something and cut them down to 5 men. If you can. I can't remember if you have to take 6 men for Americans, maybe. But it's just a question of they're not going to push up, right? These are going to be backline holders. What I've been saying so far about lists is that we're going to see a lot more gunline armies. This is a gunline army. So it needs the guns to reach out, right? And a heavy weapons platoon, yeah, this is where it really becomes a gunline army. Again, platoon commander, you can save a few points there. And then mortar teams with spotters, 1, 2, regular medium mortars, yeah, 1, 2, 2 of those, and 2 medium machine guns, regular, yeah. I would even consider maybe buying HMGs for these. Cheeky, but nice. Double bazookas to take care of enemy armor. Love it. And jeeps. Jeeps. Yeah, these could really easily be cut down to inexperienced. You could save quite a few points that way. So an inexperienced jeep is 14 points. So that's 4, 8, and then cutting down the platoon commanders by 9 points each. There's a lot of points to be saved, is my point here. And maybe potentially enough for you to get an extra order dice, which I think is more worth it than having the platoon commanders being regular. Yeah, I know it's a little better, but not massively that. I mean, yeah. So a nice list here that can still be tweaked, I think, in little ways to improve its kill ratio. Yeah, that was it for me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.